You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Voted as Canada's most rider-friendly community of the 2016 riding season is Port Alberni, British Columbia, home to one of the longest-running toy runs in Canada, the Port Alberni Toy Run. Bordered on the east by the Beaufort Mountains and on the west by the Pacific Ocean, the Vancouver Island Riders' Paradise, Port Alberni, is Canada's most rider-friendly community. Visit www.portalberni.ca to find out more. So how lucky can a girl get, right? To be sandwiched, literally, between two burly bikers. Like, geez, where else would that happen except the Reynolds Alberta Museum in Wetaskiwin, Alberta, where the guardians of the children have come out to take in this beautiful day. So, why'd you guys come on out, Dragon?
Well, we came out to support our town. We're all from Wetaskiwin, most of us, and other areas. We wanted to get out and let everybody see our patches and let them know that we're around and available if they need us.
And what do the guardians of the children do exactly?
We empower children. We give the children strength when they have to go to court to do the things they have to do. When they need strength and they need support, because a lot of them are scared when they're asked to go to court, and it can get pretty rough in court. But when we're sitting there and they can look at us and know that we're there supporting them, it gives them strength, and they can do what they have to do then.
Absolutely. Now, Big Newf, tell me a little bit about why you decided that becoming a guardian of our children was important to you.
Well, I'm actually a behavioral therapist by trade, and I went into the oil field, and I know that there's a lot of mishaps happening, and I stepped out of my field, as I said, to head to the oil field, and this was my way to give back. And especially it's nice to be able to work hand in hand with Clint in our own community and give back directly in our own community.
There's a lot of that goes on in our community. Everywhere you go across this magnificent land, you're going to run into motorcycle organizations that support our children, support our communities. This is who we are. And I think that it's really important that people understand we're just human beings that have a passion called motorcycling.
I'd also like to say that, yeah, we are the guardians of the children, but there are many organizations around that are motorcycle organizations that do this, and we work hand in hand with them. We're work very well with UBACA out of Edmonton, and we all work as one to help solve this problem.
Well, there's a lot of these children's groups, as you were saying. There's BACA, UBACA, there's Protection for the Unprotected, Bikers Against Bullying, and then Bullying Canada, and Stop Bully, and all these different organizations right across our country. It's not the first time that I've come to you guys talking about bullying and what happens there. Well, you know what? Sometimes parents are the bullies.
Oh, yeah.
Sad to say, but sometimes parents are the ones that are the bullies, and children need to know that they have rights, that they have a little bit of autonomy, and that they are allowed to be protected. So tell me some of the things that you've found over the career of doing this that have hurt your heart the most.
There's so many, but it's when you see a child who is not being treated properly, and you know that they feel so hurt and so down that they don't have the courage to speak up or to speak to somebody, and they have that nervousness that nobody probably will believe them, or things are going to get a whole lot worse. And that's where we like to step in and give these children the courage and help them get their backbone, We have a local client here in town. We have one person in town here who, this person went through a traumatic time for a long time, and we did an interview a little bit ago, and to kind of compliment what you were saying about being hurt, I'd kind of like to compliment, because it's not all hurt, there's a lot of reward as well. When you walk to as I give an example, as you walk to your local Walmart, and a 9-year-old child runs up screaming big Newf with this person's arms out and puts their arms around you and hugs you, even with a friend there with you, and to know this person, however long ago, would not do that, to know that we helped this person get their voice and get their strength and their backbone, and to know that we help empower this child, it's the reward as well.
As a person who had been bullied as a child, who had been sexually abused, who'd been beaten, I didn't have that kind of support system as a kid growing up. So supporting all of these organizations through the Busted Knuckle, our newspaper, through the TV show, is kind of my way of helping make sure that children get empowered, because there is nothing worse in the world than being 10, 11 years old and feeling like there isn't a soul out there that gives a damn or cares whether you're here, whether you're not. This is where suicides started. This is where self-esteem issues huge. A lot of people have criticized, condemned me over the years because of my emotional outbursts or stuff like that. But you know what? I'm a survivor.
Yep,
I'm what they would call a wounded warrior who has risen up out of the ashes and speaks lots on these abuse issues, because you know what? That's what shapes us as human beings. If we want to know what the problem is with 90% of our world, look at the way our children are being treated.
That's right. It's pretty rough out there. We've seen a lot since we've been in this. It's kind of hard to take a lot of it, but we do it, and we do it for the kids. That's solely why we do it.
And it does give you a little bit of sense of appreciation, if you will, for firefighters and police officers in a way. Because can you imagine how much horror they see?
Oh.
You see this much.
Yeah.
They see this much on a daily basis. So if people wanted to get involved with you, if they wanted to find out more about what the Guardians of the Children are, how would they find you?
Well, if they see us in the community, come on up and have a chat with us. Anybody that wears a Guardians, anybody wears a Guardians patch or a hoodie, or you see Guardians of any kind, come and chat to us. We also have a Facebook page that you can also get in touch with us, and we also have a helpline.
And what's that helpline?
Okay, the GOC Wetaskiwin hotline is 780-312-5720. That's 780-312-5720, and that's our direct hotline for the GOC Wetaskiwin.
And the person you'll be talking to will be our child liaison, and his name is Silverback.
So again, the Guardians of the Children, they're here today at the Reynolds Alberta Museum. But if you're out and about in the Wetaskiwin area, look them up, get involved any way you can. Let's protect and help our children flourish to be strong, capable adults. Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, home to the Cabot Trail and the Cape Breton Bike Rally. With some of the most magnificent riding and the friendliest of people one can find anywhere, Cape Breton is the runner-up community in Canada's most rider-friendly community contest. Visit CapeBretonBikeRally.com to find out why. Right now I'm being joined by the gentleman who is the child liaison for the Guardians of the Children. And Silverback, tell me a little bit about what it is that you specifically do.
I'm the one that originally goes and meets the child and the family and finds out the circumstances, what kind of things the child wants and needs to be secured, what kind of things the family needs, what kind of support they need, and then I'll track down the different areas to find out what we can do, where we can help, and who we can get involved to help with them to make sure that it's positive and bring the child back around, and
So it's a hard job. You got to see a lot of unsavory stuff. Let's talk about that unsavory stuff for a minute, because I don't think people really understand oftentimes the horrors that children experience, sometimes at the hands of people that they think should love them.
It's something that, you need a good group of people to back you. When you hear some of the stories, it's things that you think are only in movies and, shows and things like that. When you find out it's happening that close to home and how much these children suffer and how many times people close a blind eye and don't want to admit it and see it. When you actually do help these children out and you see them turn around and be able to smile again and be able to feel safe and enjoy and be a child, that's what it's all about. Right?
That sure is what it's all about. What are some of the supports that you've had to help a child with?
Emotional, suicidal, bullying, complete depression, where they want to hide and be away from everybody, scared to talk to people. I've even seen children hide in the back seat on the floor of a vehicle because they've been so scared that someone will see them or someone will do something to them.
It's absolutely horrible, and no child should ever have to live that way, folks. So if you can help, please take a few minutes out of your day, look up the Guardians of the Children, find them on Facebook, and if you can support a child in need, please do.